Chapter 7. The Vulnerability. The office at 2 a.m. was a different world. The cleaners had come and gone. The air conditioning hummed a low, synthetic lullaby. Outside, a storm was battering the glass skin of the tower, turning the view of Manhattan into a blurred watercolor of gray and neon. Elena was still at her desk. She had kicked off her heels hours ago. She was reviewing the Q3 earnings projection, looking for a narrative thread that could justify a 10% R&D hike. Her door was open. "You're going to burn out," a voice said from the darkness of the hallway. Elena didn't jump. She just looked up. Julian was leaning against the doorframe. He had loosened his tie and unbuttoned his collar. He held 2 crystal tumblers of scotch. "I don't burn out," Elena said, rubbing her eyes. "I just recharge." "Drink," Julian said, walking in and placing a glass on her desk. "It's a 30-year-old single malt. It costs more than your first car." Elena picked up the glass. "My first car was a Honda Civic with a missing bumper. That's a low bar." Julian chuckled. He sat on the edge of her desk, looking down at her. The proximity was deliberate. He was invading her workspace, her sanctuary. "Why are you really here, Elena?" he asked. "Most people with your bank account are sleeping in silk sheets right now. You're here, fighting with a spreadsheet." Elena took a sip. The scotch burned pleasantly. "I like the quiet," she said. "Liar," Julian said softly. "You're here because you're afraid." Elena stiffened. "Afraid of what?" "That it will go away," Julian said. He reached out and tilted her chin up so she had to look at him. "I looked at your background check, Elena. Queens, public school, scholarship to NYU. You worked 3 jobs in college. You know what hungry feels like." Elena pulled away, standing up and walking to the window. The rain lashed against the glass. "I'm not hungry anymore," she said, her voice tight. "Aren't you?" Julian followed her. He stood behind her, close enough that she could feel the heat radiating off him. "You bought the apartment on 57th Street. You wear the shoes, you play the part. But deep down, you're terrified that one day you'll wake up and the key won't work, that you'll be back in Queens counting coupons." Elena closed her eyes. He was dissecting her. It should have felt violating, but it felt seen. "I won't go back," she whispered. "I would die first." "I know," Julian said. His hands came up to rest on her shoulders. They were heavy, grounding. "That's why I chose you. Because people who are born rich, they're soft. They think safety is a birthright. But you know safety is a lie. You know you have to kill for it." He turned her around. The office was dark, lit only by the storm and the glow of her monitor. Julian's eyes were fierce. "I will never let you fall, Elena," he said. It sounded like a vow. "As long as you are with me, you are untouchable. I am the wall between you and the world." The promise broke something inside her. The constant low-level hum of anxiety that had driven her for 10 years suddenly went quiet. She looked at him. This beautiful, dangerous man who had just promised to protect her from her own nightmares. She didn't think. She just moved. She grabbed his lapels and pulled him down. The kiss wasn't gentle. It was a collision. It tasted of scotch and desperation. Julian groaned, a low guttural sound, and swept everything off her: desk papers, iPad, the crystal glass with a violent crash. He lifted her onto the mahogany surface. "Say it," he growled against her neck, his hands everywhere in her hair, on her waist, under her skirt. "Say you belong to me." "I belong to the power," she gasped, her head thrown back. "I am the power," Julian said. He kissed her again, silencing any argument. It was rough, possessive, and exhilarating. For the first time in her life, Elena wasn't driving the car. She wasn't spinning the story. She was letting go. Outside, the thunder cracked, but in the office, the only sound was the collision of 2 people who had finally found their equal,